So on the Steve Malzberg show, yeah, I fucking hate this man. I hate people that pretend to be newscasters when you're not. You're not a newscaster. Anyway, he's talking with me and Kyle's favorite new guy, Jesse Lee Peterson. Who, if you can understand him through all of the slurring that he does, I mean, anyway, here we go.
The commutations of Chelsea Manning and Lopez, the FALN bomber. With regards to Manning, I mean, this is as outrageous as it gets. Both of them are outrageous. I mean, this is. I mean, Manning gave 700 700 files or discs or whatever, exposing secrets, exposing undercover people, exposing men in the field, army movement, and I mean, this guy or this woman to get out so soon is outrageous.
You know,
and we're gonna let. It's not outrageous. They applied for a pardon, and they had her sentence commutated. That's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
simply.
You know the number of people who have been accused of the same sort of crimes. They only got up to 5-7 years or something. Rachel Maddow did a piece about it.
Or, she was no prison at all, like with, how they want to do with Hillary, or Petraeus, nothing at all. They have to step down from their position.
It's because they're people in power. That's the only fucking difference.
Yeah, really. And there's going to be a bit of a probably clash between like most of the people in the liberal world and in my opinion on the Chelsea Manning thing. The sentence has been commutated. She did 7 years. That being in Leavenworth was a shitty fucking thing to do to somebody, because that's a hard fucking prison to be in.
Well, it wasn't just being in Leavenworth. She was in solitary the entire time.
And, treated really fucking terribly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For a year, guys, I could not handle solitary for a year. I'd lose my goddamn mind.
Yeah.
I would not be okay.
Solitary confinement is fucking torture, and it's been called as such.
Right.
Well, and so the thing is like the release of the documents that came out. If they would have been given to somebody other than WikiLeaks, but this was the time when WikiLeaks was still considered a somewhat forthright place to go to drop stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Nowadays, we know that Assange is massaging shit to fit his narrative and to get him whatever he could possibly get from other people. I mean, there's a problem when you have that kind of power in the hands of a person instead of it being a group of folks out there. So we know now that that's not the place to drop your stuff. And so all of the people out there that are talking about Snowden, how come they didn't release him? Be like, well, he hasn't been formally charged with anything, so he can't really be. It's bullshit. Kind of hard with Nixon. Okay, I get it, but that's different. But the thing is, Manning did release classified documents to the aid of the enemy. And whether that was the intent when she released it,
right.
That's not the deal. The thing is that it did aid and give comfort to the enemy. And I'm speaking on this mainly from my profession. I don't represent the federal government. I don't do any of that shit. We had the disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
The thing is, her sentence is commutated. She's free to go. I have no fucking problem with that. I have none at all.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
that's how the fucking court works. She deserves something. She deserves something,
right,
but not the 7 years and the solitary time and the torture and all the other shit that she got, because she was treated bad in Leavenworth.
Real bad.
And for people that don't know what this is, look up Leavenworth, which is the federal military prison. It is a shithole of epic proportions. It's a bad prison. You do not want to fucking go there.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are prerequisites to getting a presidential pardon or a sentence commutation.
Yeah.
There are things that they look for. One of those being basically remorse. I mean, you acknowledge that you did something wrong. You've either confessed or pled out, or
fuck. We could spend an hour talking about the fact that our prison system in this country needs to change like nobody's business. It is a industry, and it really should not be a fucking industry at all. It is mainly geared towards being punitive towards somebody instead of rehabilitation, like we have in other first world countries. The ones that have free healthcare, college for all, that kind of thing. that's just us expecting to live in some sort of socialist utopia, you know. All right, so let's let Jesse Lee Peterson actually say something here.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't even let him talk yet.
When we look back, Steve, I can't think of anything good that Obama has done to make the country better.
Really, motherfucker? Because there are some actual maths to back up some things he's done that are actually beneficial.
I think one of the best things he did was strike a deal with Iran. Honestly, that staved off a lot of fucking death.
At this point in time, you have to actually try really hard to not see some of the good things.
Oh,
I mean, you have to bury your head so far in the sand and be so intellectually dishonest.
Nope, I don't see anything.
Nope. Everything is terrible. It's all bad.
All right.
He has weakened the military.
No.
The first thing he did was get rid of don't ask, don't tell.
That's strengthening the military.
Same-sex marriage. And now men who think that they're women or women who think that they're men can go into the military and completely be that way. And so for Barack Obama to do this is not really a surprise, because for some reason he has this great desire for men and women who are confused about who they are, their sexual identity. And so I believe that he did this more because this man has taken on the body parts of a woman. So I'm thinking that that's the driving force behind it, even if it does mean putting America at risk. Barack
Okay.
Well, so
to take on the last point he made first, it's already done. What she did, it's done. She can't and won't do it again. That's it. It was a one-time thing. So no, it's not putting the country or anybody at risk to free her. Not even close.
I just don't get how he said that he's trying. He tore down the military. Even Trump is saying that he's like tearing down the military. I don't recall there being a slash in the defense budget.
No.
I mean, certainly as a federal employee, it feels like I haven't gotten a raise in a long time. But
here's where I have an issue. Here's where I have an issue. These anti-trans people are always bitching about somebody who was a male and is actually a female.
How dare you give up your penis?
Exactly. That's always it. They never talk about the female to male. They never bitch about that. They never sit there and bitch about it. It's always a man behaving as a female.
Well, what really fucking bothers me
is that
the transphobic folk out there that really fucking piss me off is when they go like, they're just confused people. They're people that think that that they belong in a different, sex, or they want to reassign everything. It's like, that's not how it works. Their entire life, they've been struggling with this whole nagging perception of like, I'm in this body, but I feel like I am something else,
Right.
Like I am in the wrong fucking body. I need to be a female. And so when they start to transition,
and this is actually
they feel better.
Demonstrated thing.
Yeah. But, no, they're just degenerates. They're just, evil fucking people, apparently, according to these guys.
And the only it's a really terrible equivalent. But that I can make. But the best thing I can tell people at this point is try to imagine that you're born right-handed and told your entire life that you're left-handed.
No, as a lefty, it's usually the other way around, Kyle.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I had teachers try to force me to be right-handed.
Appeal to a brighter, he's trying to appeal to a larger audience. Most people are not, and you're right, X. You're absolutely right. But he's saying like, think about most people are right-handed.
Right.
Think of trying to be forced to be left-handed.
No.
And told that you need to be left-handed.
I'm just speaking from experience of having an asshole teacher trying to make me write with my right hand. I'm like, it's not working.
It didn't work. It's not working. This is not right. Yeah. it's like I said, it's a terrible equivalence. It really is, but it's the only way I've found to try to make anybody understand.
Oh, and boy, did it bring up all sorts of fun stuff with the pseudoscience. And not to get completely off topic, oh, you write with your left hand? Oh, your right brain. That means that you're more analytical and more mathematical. I'm like, well, that's true, but fuck
God,
you.
I hate the right brain, left brain shit. I hate that shit so much.
Why have we not heard from Chris? Chris, you got audio problems over there, man? I know you got some shit to say about this, motherfucking SJW. Come on, man. No, in fact, that's a title I'm going to start using a lot more often because, honestly, who the fuck is against social justice? I have no idea why your mic is not working. Let's let Jesse Lee Peterson talk some more.
Obama has something going on that I don't think we all understand at this point.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that he seemed to have a weakness. He seemed to identify in a way that I've not seen a man identify with. I'm not calling him a homosexual because I don't know that at all.
Oh, but you are.
This man tried to convince us to accept men who think that they're women going into a woman's bathroom or a woman's bathroom. He tried to force us to accept that as being normal. I don't know if it's something happened in his childhood or what it is, but he has some type of issue going on that causes him to identify with these type of people in a way that I've never seen before in my lifetime.
Man, that is just terrible.
Yeah, it really is.
He doesn't have a weakness for gay and transgender people, and it's not a weakness to bring up the fucking the marginalized people of society.
No.
It's
If you're like a female, you're weak. That's it. That's it. That's what it is.
If you like
it's the men behaving. It's the men behaving as a female. Women have their place, and it's weaker. They are the weaker, fairer sex. Go fuck yourself.
I want these guys to be sat down in a chair and let's talk about gender fluid, non-binary people. Let's talk about this, guys. And their heads would fucking explode, and it would be just amazing. But the thing is, you see it even on people that you think would be somewhat normalized with this kind of stuff, where they think that they would be able to talk about this stuff. So this whole, Obama having a weakness for gay or transgender people, I don't think that's the case. I think he's the first president to actually identify these people as actual humans. He's the first one to recognize them. He's the first to, go, look, this is a marginalized chunk of our society. Why don't we give them a little bit of love?
Well, I think it's part of it is this whole thing where, well, if you're for LGBT rights, that means you must be gay. For some reason, I've had that. Well, why are you so, are you gay or something? What are you even talking about? I mean, that's like me asking me, well, I'm for, civil rights. Does it mean I'm black? It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. I've heard that one too. I've heard that one too. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, first off, even why is that even? So what?
Exactly.
I mean, what, are you gay or something? I'm not
a 1 on the Kinsey scale. What's it to you, fucker?
Yeah. Well played.
Well played.
And he had to fucking bring up the fact that he said, I don't know what happened in his past with his childhood. Be like, that's the other myth that they bring up all the goddamn time that pisses me off, where they're like, you have to have been something traumatically happened to you in your childhood where all of a sudden that makes it so you're gay. It's like, man.
Well, what happened to him in his childhood to make him so fucking dense? I mean,
I think I got kicked by a horse.
Well, and it's a thing we've been talking about on the show for the last couple episodes, and I think we're trying to bring it more to the fore, that these people that are like hyper masculine are the ones that you really have to watch out for.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are caught in bathroom stalls doing the foot tap. These are the guys that protest too much. The ones that are like, I fucking hate gay guys. And it's like, and next thing you know, they're the ones caught in a 2-week bender in a hotel room somewhere with a gay prostitute. And it's like, look, man, I'm not the one to shame whether you want to use drugs or you want to fuck a guy or anything like that. You can fuck whoever the hell you want to fuck. I have no problem with that. As long as they're a consenting adult, I don't give a shit. You could be 5 adults. I don't give a fuck. But the thing is, when you're the guy that's out there going, you're like, oh, well, I have a problem with people not doing male to female. Like, when it's just, you can only have straight sex. Only straight sex. I'm Joe Friday. I only do straight sex. You know, when that's the case, I see you and I'm like, the fuck you got in your closet? What's your kink? Because everybody's got a kink. We've learned this already. You know?
Oh yeah.
When I tell some folks, hey, I'm not averse to anthro art, they're like, what? And I'm like, okay, never mind.
What's not the worst thing?
Okay, let's just put it this way. I'm not a furry because I'm not a fursuit kind of guy, but you know, sexy cartoons kind of do things for me sometimes. You know.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Whatever does it.
There's no such thing as kink shame on this show. Like, fuck, whatever. You can like whatever you like, you know, whatever. You can fetishize whatever you want. See, I'm a bit different when it comes to that because you can fetishize whatever the hell you want, and there's a lot of people that aren't into that, you know, because people think that makes them objects, and it's like, no, that's not the case for me. No,
as long as it's consenting, I mean, that's my only criteria.
Yup. Anyway, so Jesse Lee Peterson, you're a fucking douche, and I hate you. I hate
so beyond.
you.
He's just he's beyond douchey. It's just not even funny.
But
but it's so hilarious though.
But meanwhile, guys like us, Chris included here, where we do a podcast and you get a couple of 100 downloads and you're like, yeah. But meanwhile, this guy has a fucking syndicated radio show and
hate sells. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Lots of people identify with that, and
it's like we've had the hardest time getting a lot of people on YouTube because YouTube is a cesspool full of hate, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like
exactly.
To be a YouTube atheist and get an audience, it's fucking hard, man. Let me tell you.
Oh wait, no. If you're talking about YouTube atheist and scare quotes,
yeah, scary quotes.
Like,
no, that's like
those
Sargon
motherfuckers. That's like Steve Shives struggles to get what he gets, while these fuckers like amazing atheists
get over a million and shit. Yeah,
get a fucking ridiculous amount. And Steve Shives is actually somebody who's trying to do something worthwhile.
I love Steve.
And he gets shit on every time by these guys.
And
you know how many Steve Shive clones have followed me on Twitter? Like 3 or 4.
That's right. I've been seeing your constant battles fighting against the Steve Shive clones.
Clone Wars, yeah.